Welcome. This video will discuss the history of social contracts and why social contracts matter today. Social contracts have been an integral part of society since, well, the start of society. Simply put, they are expectations and agreements on how individuals should work within the group. Socrates, a philosopher some of you may have heard about, defends the importance of the social contract when he explains to his friend Crito to why he, Socrates, must remain in prison and accept the death penalty, even though Crito was offering to bribe the guards to let Socrates free. Talk about rule follower. Now, although social contracts were used throughout time, the theory of social contracts didn't become popular until the work of Thomas Hobbes. In Hobbes' work of Leviathan in 1651, he states the purpose of government is to prevent chaos. He said that before social contracts, man lived in a state of nature, no rules or limits. Man's life in the state of nature was of fear and selfishness. Man lived in a chaotic condition of constant fear. So pretty much Hobbes is a pessimist. He went on to say, man has a natural desire for security and order. In order to secure self-protection and self-preservation, and to avoid misery and pain, man entered into a contract. This idea of self-preservation and self-protection are inherent in man's nature. In order to achieve this, they voluntarily surrender all their rights and freedoms to some authority. Another philosopher of the time, John Locke, came in and saw the approach in a different way. Locke's view about the state of nature is not as pessimist as Hobbes. In his opinion, it was reasonably good and enjoyable, but our property wasn't secure when we had no law at all. Man did not surrender all their rights to one single individual, but they surrendered only the right to preserve, maintain order, and enforce the law of nature. According to Locke, the purpose of government and law is to uphold and protect the natural rights of men. So, as long as the government is doing this, then the government is valid. But if for some reason the government stops doing this, then the people have the right to overthrow the government. A third major philosopher would be Rousseau, who came later down the line. And the original person to say freedom, happiness, equality, and liberty, which existed in primitive society prior to the social contract, was lost in modern civilization. So it is through the social contract, a new form of social organization, the state, was formed to assure and guarantee the rights, liberties, freedom, and equality. So Rousseau literally wrote the book, The Social Contract. You may not know it, but you right now are already committed to multiple social contracts in your life, even though you may have not formally signed one. For example, you follow the Constitution, the laws of your nation, the laws of your state, and the laws of your hometown. In addition to that, you may have a social contract with your parents. And then on top of that, you have a contract with the school. You have to follow their rules. And you probably have smaller social contracts, again, that don't have a formal agreement, but maybe amongst your friends. In conclusion, we have learned social contracts are a mutual agreement. Social contracts are there to establish order. Protect individuals. And social contracts are needed. In this classroom, we will create a social contract with each other, and the purpose of it is to make sure we are able to achieve our goals. And the goal of this classroom is to learn. So we will need to figure out what expectations do you have of your other classmates for you to learn? What expectations do you have from me, the teacher? And if these expectations aren't to be met, what will we do to solve that problem?